Hi Leo, and welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be taking a look at the month of September, and you can use this reading for Sun, Rising Moon, and Venus. I always begin my readings with channeled messages. These come from dreams, and today the messages that were coming from dreams surrounded construction, and also basically which direction or trajectory you're headed in. Let's talk about the construction element first, then we'll shuffle the cards and see in a little bit more detail what's coming through. The first dream that I had last night really was around woodworking, something that I'm not overly familiar with myself, but I saw wood being carved and shaped and built into something big. So we can imagine it's like a cabin or something of that nature. But the immediate connection I had when I was meditating on it this morning would be like 10 of Wands, because you're taking something, shaping it, and moving it. So there is this energy of being hands-on and also knowing the importance of setting things in motion and completing what you set out to complete. So that's why I chose 10 of Wands over anything else, because I definitely saw that there was a plan, a structure, and this was going to get finished one way, shape, or form. Because this is wood, there's the element of passion or fire behind this as well. So you really want to focus on inspiration, motivation, and purpose this month so that you can then inform the movement that's going to happen. And I didn't necessarily see a lot of delegation here. There's some things that have to be done by you, and Spirit is basically calling on you to either set it in motion or complete what you've already started, okay? So hands-on construction was the first piece. When we look at the cards in a few moments, we'll see where that might show up. The next was basically a path being revealed to you. And this is very much Two of Wands. I featured a card here from the Light Seers deck. And what happened when I woke up after I saw this map was Spirit whispered to me, point of origin. And I scribbled that down. I'm like, this is really specific. And to me, what this could indicate for some of you is either going backwards from where you want to be or figuring out where you started and how you got here. And it might be a little bit of both. So what did it take to get here? What is it going to take to get to the next thing? And this would then connect you with that previous message, the 10 of Wands, so that you can finish what you set out to do. This could be like really high level, finish what you set out to do on this planet at this moment. So this is a month where you may see connections forming, and you have to kind of plot out the next step, the next trajectory, or maybe answer the call to a path that is revealed to you. So planning is going to be one of the key elements here. Dreaming and getting inspired. I talked a little bit about that in the previous slide. And if you look at the illustration here, she's kind of wistfully looking out the window. She has a map. She has a sketch of what she's trying to do. All of these things are good. So writing, journaling, planning, sketching it out, all of that will help you bring it from here and here into the physical world. And then it's up to you to basically walk yourself through that path of creation. I'm here to help you out today, though, so don't worry about that. All right, let's take a look again at the energies around Sun, Rising, and Moon, see what's coming through for this month ahead. Let's begin with your catalyst card, which is the tear. And if we look at the caption here, this creates change and movement. So I think tears sometimes get a bad rap. They can be tears of joy, for instance. And if we take a look at the spread in front of us, there's a couple instances here where this could be the case. We have 2 of Cups here, which can be love, marriage, friendship, partnership. Same thing can be said of the 10 of Cups here. So there could be a key individual coming into your life in the form of the Queen of Pentacles. And this brings in love, abundance, and joy. Queen of Pentacles connects to love and motherhood and birthing energy. All of these things are good changes, and we have a positive Tower energy. So this, my friends, could again just be something that you're really happy about. There could also be something that is difficult to release, and let's talk about that for a second, then we'll move on. Your crowning card is the Journey reversed. This is basically a different illustration for the Death card. I like the word journey though, because it's showing that you have come to a point where there might be a fork in the road. You can't keep going in the same direction. Has to be a turn to the right or the left, and there's a choice. Am I going to stay with this person, with this place, at this company, etc., or am I going to try something different? All of these things can evoke emotions. The tear represents it's not necessarily always gentle when you cry, but when you compare it to other things that could happen in your life, it's a gentler version of the Tower, and it's basically coming through to help you heal. So tears are a form of self-healing and soothing energy too, because you do feel better. There are chemicals that are released. There is this energetic release that happens when you cry. So you may need a good laugh, a good cry, or a good outlet for your emotions this month so that you can basically see the path. We were talking about charting your trajectory. You can see the dead end, you can see the glass ceiling before you have to get to the point where you kind of have that stressful response. So this is a chance to really get in touch with your heart and allow that to be a compass that guides you in the right direction. Okay, so I'll leave the tear to the side here so we can look at it. Let's go ahead now and focus on the Celtic Cross itself. Again, just kind of taking in all of the energy and all of the messages here, beginning with your centralmost card. At the center, we have this beautiful illustration for the 8 of Cups. This card has a caption that states that this could be rebirth. I would usually put the energy of a reunion with this, but let's talk about the traditional card and then compare it to this. So in the traditional one, we see someone walking away from a situation to get some clarity, to get some understanding, to get a bird's eye view. There's always a chance to come back. So I like to look at the 8 of Cups as a door that has been left cracked open. So a no is not a definitive no, a block is not a permanent block. And sometimes if you've left something in the past kind of up in the air, it's coming around again. And this time you get to decide, do I stay, do I go? And if you were stuck before, I can understand why they would put the energy rebirth on this, because it's a chance to completely reinvent, reimagine, or approach a situation. And this time, possibly rise above. So I do understand that as we kind of walk our way through the traditional illustration versus this. So let's break it down. You're like, Nicholas, that's a lot of information. What do I do? Well, at the core, this card is saying, do you want to stay or do you want to go? And have you wrapped up everything that you've sort of left in the past? Is there anything that you wish, I should have said this, I could have done that, I want to know this? This is a moment in time where you're being asked to then step up and manage that, okay? And you get to, because this says rebirth on it, you really get to do it the way that you want to. But there is also a need to kind of deal with any of the emotions first, then approach this. And that's why when we look at the traditional card, it's helpful to get some perspective, to sort yourself out first, and then come back and decide what matters, okay? Now we have the King of Wands on top of this. I love that we see all of the power represented by the snakes on this, but there's almost a snake's nest here. And we have one of the snakes rising above. So there could be, for many of you, a situation where there's just a lot of egos in the room, a lot of people that are flexing and puffing their chest and trying to show sort of like who's the boss. And there may be a different approach that you present instead of this sort of, this sort of show of energy. Leadership takes so many different types of people, and this could be a quieter type of leadership where you're just basically leading by example. You don't have to say it, you don't have to show it, you just have to embody it. And the best kinds of leaders have that gravitas. They enter the room, they speak, they hold themselves in a certain way, and you can't help but listen. So this is a month to lead in your own way and maybe lead in a way that you wish others would have. This is also about stepping up to the plate and doing something that matters, not getting distracted by what everyone else is saying and doing. And if you need to part ways and go on your own path, absolutely, that's part of this as well. Let me see what else we want to talk about with this. The King of Wands is, in addition to being a great boss or leadership card, it's also very creative. So for many of you, there could be this sort of undeniable connection to ideas. And a lot of times it is stuck in the sort of headspace. So I talked about the Ten of Wands being necessary this month. So it's important for you to carry through or carry out any of these ideas. And if you need to connect with others to help manage this, then that's part of this as well. Remembering, again, there's going to still be a certain amount of hands-on work that you have to do this month, but perhaps you are in that sort of creative director role as well. In the deep past, we have the Nine of Swords. It's in a favorable position, however, because not only is it in the past, but it's also reversed. This is a unique Nine of Swords where she actually is already looking at the positive. The caption reads dedication. So she's taking a moment to integrate all of the experiences, good, bad, and spectacular. And she's saying, all right, they all helped me grow. They all helped point me to this direction. Now I know what I want. And that's a much higher version of this card, which may just focus on the anxiety. Basically, this is giving you what you need to know what isn't favorable in your life. And sometimes we have to go through that ouch moment. It's like a reaction, right? Where something doesn't taste good, something doesn't feel good, something isn't a fit for you, so you don't do it anymore. And it feels like many of you have already been through that. And this moment in time, because if we go back to these center cards, it's really about not letting someone push you back into a role, a path, or a way of being that didn't suit or fit you, okay? And in this moment instead, you're going to dedicate yourself to what matters most. I like that we see her collecting all of these things and getting ready to move on, versus just sort of feeling like your energy is scattered. She's reclaiming her power, she's re-establishing her focus, and she is ready for the next thing. And as we take a look here at the cards, the very next thing here would be speaking up and taking action. We have the Page of Swords, it's reversed. This is simply a more active and more direct version of the Page of Swords. Pages, of course, are great at communicating, great at listening, but they're also very good at taking out that pen, highlighting things, editing things, and asking a question if there's a lack of clarity. Or if there's explicitly something that isn't right, they're going to go through there and say, let's get this fixed. Let's talk about this. So this is a time where even if it feels a little bit out of your comfort zone, it's going to be important to raise your hand, to speak up, and to let the voice of reason to be heard, okay? Let's go ahead and move from the Page of Swords to the Death card. Death card again in the crowning position. It's reversed. It's showing an end of stalemate. Let's look at the traditional card for a second. I find it very telling that the Death card has a horse on it. It's very much like what you would see with a knight, right? So this is saying, change is here. Are you ready to get on board? Or are you going to wait to the point where basically you have no choice but to move? So the answer here is pretty simple. You really want to embrace the energy of change and movement. We still have that change and movement present on this card because it's a bird of prey, basically. We have a carrion crow here, or a raven. And it's basically saying, I have a message of change. And rather than waiting for the tower to happen, I'm going to surf that wave of change and land on my feet. And that is why we have the Page in reverse. You have a voice at the table. You have leadership energy. People are willing and ready to work with you. You have two partnership cards here. Yes, there may have been challenges in the past. Yes, you may still be going through things, but this change is necessary. And it feels like on many levels you're ready. And sometimes you just need a nudge or permission, and maybe you tuned in today to get the nudge that you already felt that was inside. It's sort of like, okay, I'm listening, Nicholas, I'll do this, all right? This is also a card of rebounding, reinventing, reimagining, and just like we saw at the center, it could be rebirth here too. So something didn't work before, but it can work now. How can it work, you may ask? Through partnership. This can take many forms. For some of you, this will be love. For some of you, friends. It could also be an advisor. No matter how you slice it, though, I like that in the near future, we see someone stepping in so that you can share the energy of change, development, movement, and it's not something that you have to bear alone. Not only that, but if we look at the environment here, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be someone bearing, as we said earlier, good news. Literally, we have the bear here. This could also be your chance to basically go further through a nurturing relationship. So mentorship, teaching, maybe whether you're the teacher or the student, that's kind of up to you in your life path. But we definitely see a nice exchange going on here. And for those of you that are married, we'll talk about this in a moment, but this partnership energy could also be bringing through a new baby, a new development, something exciting together. It could be a proposal, moving in, moving out, something like that. We'll look at that when we go into relationships. But most of what I see right here is very celebratory. So 2 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, something good. And you can get more in this partnership than perhaps traveling the path solitary. So it's a time to, at the very least, entertain the possibility of partnering up or working with someone or seeing what they have to offer. When people look at you this month, they're intrigued. They're looking at your wisdom. So we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, the fox. The fox is both intelligent and we can kind of play on words, foxy, something that's appealing. And they perhaps are attracted by your intelligence, the way that you carry yourself, your quick wit. It's more than just the appearance, it's the package. And so you're the full package. You have all of the elements working in your favor in this particular month. So embrace that. Sometimes you're the last to know when there's an obvious connection or when someone is interested or when something great is right in front of you. So this month, it's almost like Spirit's knocking on the door saying, I know you may be a little resistant to change. I know there might have been something difficult or painful in the past. You may still be grieving some of that, but I've got some upgrades. Are you ready? Are you open? Will you entertain the possibility? Because other people see your potential. Stay open-minded. So a Knight of Wands in reverse is open-minded to a different path. They're willing to take an unexpected left or right without worrying too much because they know the lay of the land. They know who they are, and they know that they can always backtrack or always go back to whatever it was that they were doing before. So there could be an invitation for some of you to move for work. This blasted oak, this tower, could be a transfer. It could also be a promotion. Towers can be good. And it's just a matter of you being open to someone else seeing something before you, the universe seeing something before you. So do what the fox is doing. Close your eyes, meditate, and think, what am I afraid of? What do I have to lose? And if it's just fear holding you back, it might be time to taste something new, try something new, take a leap of faith. Now, as we take a look at what's going on in the environment, we have something that really is positive. We have the Queen of Pentacles upright, the bear, which is almost like waking up from hibernation, ready to get out there, ready to explore, ready to protect whatever she cares about. This card, if we look at the traditional illustration, is kind of like one of my favorite cards for development because she has a green thumb, a Midas touch, anything that she puts her energy behind, you're going to see movement. That's why there's always a little rabbit in the corner. Things will move faster than you imagine. We also have a little baby underneath here. It's birthing energy. Sometimes you'll even see her with a pregnant belly. Usually that's reserved for the Empress, but she is also one of the cards of domestic bliss, birthing, partnership, and again, favorable business connections. So there's only things to love about this. And the fact that it's in your environment is a reminder that like energy attracts like energy. So it's both you and a representation of who you're bringing in. You've done the work so that people can see that you're someone that they want to spend some time with. You have some insight, you have some potential. So don't second guess what you're calling in. In fact, some of you have been through a period where your confidence may have been shaken because something ended or there wasn't a lot of what you were looking for, again, maybe a dead end. And all of a sudden now, there's been a breakthrough. Maybe you spoke up, maybe you just finally let go of some stuff, and in doing so, you created space, and now the universe is knocking with an upgrade. And I'm telling you, it's your time, you earned it, so please embrace it. And remember, if it's around you, if it's in front of you, it's because you also embody it. So never sell yourself short. In hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have the 10 of Cups. As just a general good news card, this is one of the best that you can get. We can read it a couple of ways. One is just the fear that, do you deserve it? Yes, we already covered that. Is this a one-time thing? No. Look at this. There's an endless source of energy coming through. Happiness is yours now to experience, especially for those of you that have been through a difficult moment. So open yourself up to the understanding that it's your turn, it's okay, you can be happy, and yes, it can continue. You are a channel through which good things can flow too. So yes, there may have been challenges in the past, but now is a time for something different. This is a change energy that we see, especially with the crowning and the outcome card being about a shift, a movement, or a change. Now, the other way that we can read this is you standing up to peer pressure. So in the upright position, this can be friends and family. When reversed, they could be trying to push you into doing something that isn't right for you. We talked about that ouch moment, or that misfitting moment where you knew that something didn't, it's like putting on a shirt that doesn't fit right. You're not going to keep wearing that at a certain point. You're going to find something that is your size. If it's too big or if it's too small, you find something that's just right. You figured out what's just right for you. You don't have to try to fit a template that's been assigned to you any longer. This is your moment to really just be who you need to be. This is also showing the speed with which this relationship can propel and ascend to something bigger. So you may not expect it, they may not even expect it, but once this sort of union or partnership happens, then there's the question, hey, do you want to make this more exclusive or go a little bit further? It's a question mark when it's upside down. So either you or the other person is questioning it. You might have to be the one that is going to say yes or no, or is going to communicate the question to the other person. That's the only thing that's missing here. It's your turn probably to kind of step in and say what you want, so go for it. Everything this month is leading you towards the blasted oak or the tower, and I reminded you that the tower can be empowered, it can be positive, it can be significant. Think of moments in time that really shook your world in the best sort of way. The birth of a child, a proposal of marriage, good news about a friend that is maybe graduating or getting the job of their dreams, surprise tickets to a concert that you want to go to, whatever it is. There are these moments where you're like, oh my God, it's happening to me. Getting accepted into the school of your choice, getting over a really difficult health diagnosis. We have these moments where you think, how did this happen, or why is this happening? I don't know, but I'm not going to jinx it. So that's what I want you to think about right now, is that change can be good. Let's empower the tower today and really bring forth opportunities for growth and development. Ultimately, that's what's happening here. Partnership, development, an end of a dead end. That's kind of redundant. I should say a dead end coming to a close, a chance for something new to come through. And then again, making and breaking a cycle. All of this is good, folks. So I would embrace the opportunities and kind of like this deep thinking Knight of Wands, just stay open to what the universe has to serve up to you. One last note, whether or not you're ready, some changes will happen anyway. This means that certain things around you, there could be a friend, a family member, a job, or whatever, and these people, places, and things are going to move with or without you. So this is a chance for you to embrace change and be a part of that. Ride that wave with them so that you can see what the future has in store for you. And that's a perfect segue into the expanded forecast, where we look a little deeper at the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning first with the energy surrounding health. I always like to remind folks that I'm here to look at opportunities and energy. If you have anything going on with your mental or physical health, obviously work with a professional. The energy of health this month is about truth. being honest with yourself, being honest with others. It says, truth is my teacher. The card in reverse is basically coming through as a wink and nod, saying, let's avoid the tendencies that would sometimes come through with the Moon card, the Seven of Swords, or the Devil, where you may think you can get away with something, but you can't really. It's better to come clean. It's better to speak up. I talked about the editing, honesty, and active energy that comes through with the Page of Swords reversed. Embrace that. Embrace that honesty and that concise approach, and that will help. Being honest with yourself is typically the most difficult thing. We often know what's wrong or what needs to be dealt with or the right solution, but sometimes it's just hard to embrace that truth. If you need help this month, you're not alone. You can reach out to an expert, a friend, or a teacher to help you deal with the truth and sort out what maybe to do next, okay? Now let's look just at the cards and see what some additional messages might be coming through. The most important thing for many of you is dealing with stress. So the Nine of Swords can be insomnia. It can be dealing with work stress that also impacts just your ability to concentrate, sleep, and deal with things. So if that's happening, finding an outlet for that is key. It's okay, and it's often important to cry. So if you've been through a difficult period in your life, it's a healthy thing to be in touch with your emotions. If they're too heavy, if they're too much, then again, reach out to someone who can help you manage or navigate through those emotions. Journaling, writing, speaking, all good things right now as well. Some of you had a close call. I've been seeing this a lot this month, so it's a wake-up call. Something happened and you thought, that was harder to recover from, that was harder to navigate through. I think I want to make some changes in my life because I don't want to burn the candle at both ends. I don't want to shorten this beautiful lifespan that I have by doing certain things like stressing out too much or not getting enough sleep. So that's the wake-up call that you're going to heed, and you can make changes. Again, working in conjunction with an expert or with someone that you can trust. I just see a lot of intense emotions this month, so having proper channels and support networks around you, that comes through time and again. Moving. Some of you are just adjusting to a big change. So whether it's a new job, a new home, or a new baby, whatever it is, something big, something new, something transitional, where there was nothing before, now there's something big, or vice versa. You're dealing with empty nest syndrome or something of that nature. Please connect with someone. There is help. And that is what I keep seeing here is the networking, the connecting. So for business, of course, we'll be looking at that in a second. That's going to be important for you to have like a healthy, happy network in the future. For friendship, the same thing serves you when someone moves to another country or someone gets married and you're like, okay, I'm missing that connection. So you're going to seek out new networks this month. You're going to spread the feelers, the roots, so that you have something new, something foundational to lean into and lean on. All right. And that's everything with respect to health. Speak the truth also when you talk to your doctor or to people around you so that they can support you in the way that you need. As we take a look now at the energy of wealth, it says, release the old and rest. So this is so nicely connected with what we've seen, like it's almost an identical illustration, right, to the journey. So if something has come to a close, it's okay. It was cosmically timed to exit your life at this moment. If you've been having difficulty being at peace with that, this card is saying you did everything you could, and now it's time for a new chapter in your life. And autumn is a liminal or in-between space between something old, something new, two different seasons. So this is a chance for you to be in that space and be at peace with it and say, all right, I'm now going to just try on new things. And that was everything that we were talking about here. Close your eyes, kind of like smell it, taste it, feel it for a moment and say, how does this moment feel? How does this situation feel? What do I want? What do you want right now? This is kind of what's coming through for wealth. If you're a student, is the path that you're on what you want or what family wanted? Are you finished studying and ready to enter into the new world? Is that a little discombobulating? That's okay. We've all been through that, those of us that went to school. It's about leaning on and leaning into the network and creating the network there. For those of you that are mid-career, you may have reached a point where you think, I can't do this anymore. That's okay. We see something better here in the environment. It's going to take some searching and some open-mindedness, but you can find that. And for those that are retired, you never stop developing or experiencing new things. So this is not the final chapter. Autumn is not the final chapter in the seasons. There's still another season in the year, so there's still something else to experience. You've got another journey. You've got another chapter in your book. So what do you want? That's really what this card is questioning and sort of like asking you to work on a little bit, because in the environment, we see that you can start to create some beautiful things. This is a birthing card, but it requires ownership, leadership, understanding of what you want, and a willingness to fight for what you want as well. Okay? Overall, I quite like everything with respect to wealth. We see less than, we see some limits here. Now we see upgrades, and we see them happening lickety-split with the Blasted Oak here. Again, with all of these cards being favorable, this is a good change and a fast change. So the main thing that you want to stay open to is surprises, positive surprises, the universe coming through with more than you expected. If there was a lack, there's no longer a lack. If there was an emptiness, there's no longer an emptiness. There's now more than enough, something bigger and better than you thought about. And again, the hardest part for many of you is just letting go. Let's move on to love and relationships. This can be any type of relationship. We'll look at all the different aspects in just a moment. We have Paul the Venetian coming through here, and his message is experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Amen to that, Paul. And we saw that in the cards of the Two of Cups. We saw that in the unexpected Ten of Cups in reverse. Maybe even too much to deal with because it's a lot happening at once. We saw that in the nurturing and loving energy, even though it's not a little imposing here, of the Queen of Pentacles, because she's one of the most I would say, mothering, nurturing cards that you can pull in tarot. Here's the more traditional card. Again, someone who wants to take care of you or wants you to be provided for. And so all of that is coming through in the relationship energy this month. Say thank you. Use gratitude. Welcome in these positive forces. And if something is on its way out, also be graceful with that. For some of you, it could be leaving in grace. So maybe you're quitting a job or leaving a relationship or exiting out of something. You're going to do that with grace and with dignity. All right, let's look at this in 3 different perspectives. If you're in love, looking for love, or single and happy. For those in a loving relationship right now, there is a big change. And I saw almost the exact same thing, different cards, but same message when I was looking at Cancer. So Leo, what I'm picking up on for you is you're either going to go big or go home or move on in a different direction. The journey, aka death. So we have death in the Tower, but we have positive cards here. So this is partnership. This could be birthing. This could be marriage. You're either going to go all in or you're going to move into a different direction. So if you've been dating someone and it's serious, it's this big question. Are we exclusive? Are you ready? Are they ready? Has to be mutual, has to be reciprocal. And if it is, then great. We see good changes and good development. For those of you that have been married for a long time, there could be a question of, do we want to expand the family or are we finished? And that's a question you sort out together. For those of you that have also been together for a while and you might be feeling like the passion isn't there, you can rekindle it, but it takes work. If the work isn't being done by both parties, I'm seeing one that's doing a lot more than the other. That could be a bone of contention. This can be seen in several different sort of themes because I'm reading for a large audience. But ultimately, we do have partnership, we do have love, we do have abundance here. But it takes 2 to tango. And if you're not both doing the work, it's difficult to hold up the fort this month, okay? So both people have to roll up their sleeves and do the building that I saw earlier. If you're looking for love this month, can you find it? Absolutely, you can find it. We have karmic energy coming through and an end of a dry spell too for some of you. And it happens so fast that it's topsy-turvy. You kind of feel a sense of vertigo from 0 to 80 miles per hour. It's a lot to deal with. So take your time. Ground yourself. That's why the Queen of Pentacles is here, and she's putting her claws in the ground saying, I got to get my head on straight and figure out what I want, okay? So yes, you can find it. It might be in the form of the Queen of Pentacles, a very favorable partner, by the way, someone who is good at not just taking care of themselves, but taking care of you too. So there's a good partnership energy, but it's just happening fast. So if you've been looking, then, I definitely see that energy coming through. The only thing that I'm picking up on is a lack of maybe sort of stability or favorable sort of energies around you. So you really want to make sure that you have a handle on your finances, that if you're looking for a new place or a new job or whatever, everything has settled first, because this is a lot on its own. This plus change is a lot to deal with. So sort out everything in your life first and then welcome that in. If you're happily single, I think it's actually the most beneficial of all three right now, because what's coming through right now is growth with your personal finances and personal development, and really good networking energy. If you wanted to put a product, service, or idea out there, we have open hearts and open hands here. I meant to mention that for business. This is really good entrepreneurial energy. So we'll read a little bit of both right now. So if you're business oriented and happily single, then what I see right now is it's a good time to go to school. It's a good time to sell a product or service. It's a great time to network with others and learn from them. And it's going to bring some very beneficial changes. You may also be ready or willing to maybe sell your house and experience a different sort of life right now, where you're traveling more or renting instead of owning. I see a sort of transitional phase for some of you. Okay, let's take a look now at your destiny card. We have the bear totem coming through for this. And as I look at it in the reverse state, I think of the things that I would normally associate with a bear. That would be hibernation. So a reverse bear would be waking up, really feeling active and activated right now. It can also be letting your guard or defenses down a little bit. So rather than being on, sort of like alert and assuming the worst, you're going to start to assume the best and start to manifest that, because your thoughts are basically like a satellite broadcasting that out there. So open heart, open mind, defenses down, active energy. And also bears can be cuddly. So maybe letting in that sort of that softer side. And that's going to help you in the partnership energy, in the work energy. Knowing that you also still have all of the gravitas, all of the sort of strength that we see in this card. And it's just a question of when and how often to show it. You don't have to basically be flexing all the time. There's a time and there's a place. And you don't have to protect yourself and have that shield up 24/7. Because if you do that, nobody can see you. No one can kind of break through. So this is a moment to know exactly when to open up your heart, open up your mind, and see what the universe has to offer. Let's take a deeper dive into sun, rising, and moon messages and give you that clarity that you might be seeking. Sun, rising, and moon. For the sun, we have the Six of Wands. What a beautiful Six of Wands this is as well. You can see basically that you've set the stage for success long before it's happened. The caption reads abundance, and we see the fire there, but nobody's showed up just yet. So I remind folks that leading the charge can sometimes be a little lonesome or a little lonely, because you don't always know where you stand. You just have to trust your intuition. And the Six of Wands in reverse is saying, even in the absence or the vacuum of feedback or support or indications, if you are following the inner compass, you'll be all right. What happens a lot of times sometimes is we try to repeat success or anticipate what others want. And in this moment, the universe is saying, those two paths are not what you want to follow. You really want to figure out what is best for you in this moment, because you have what it takes to nurture, to birth, to create, to inspire. And when you show up with whatever it is you're bringing to the stage here, others will follow, okay? An absence of something right now does not mean the absence will always be there. You are poised for success. Follow your gut, follow your third eye, and create a new path, one that hasn't existed in your life before, and perhaps bringing a flair or a flavor that is singular, that hasn't also been done in other people's lives either. This is what's going to inspire them, okay? For the rising and moon, we have the Nine of Cups. And if we read the caption, it says generosity. The thing that really strikes me the most about this Nine of Cups is the main character's ability to just maintain their zen even though there's a lot going on around them. So this typically is a card of extremes, extreme highs, extreme lows, turbulence. This person is feeling at ease no matter what's going on, and I love that. And it does require that they have tuned in. We see a few cards where the characters or the animals or the people are just tuning in. So that's the key this month, is not to let a punctuated high or low take you out of your Zen state or off of your otherwise very positive trajectory. This is also a card that says don't forget to celebrate the little victories. Both the 3 and the 9 of Cups are moments where you should pause and take it all in. And he's really doing that. He's taking a moment to smell the flowers. So please do that. Say thanks for all of the blessings, all of the opportunities. And even when it's a difficult day, think to yourself, how was it a year ago or 10 years ago? Or what's going on with some people around me that might be dealing with more? I'm grateful that I'm able to be as blessed as I am, and I want to be more present so that I can make the most of these blessings. That's really the message that's coming through here. The reversal of this is saying that emotions can cloud judgment, so find a way through meditation, through gratitude, and also through generosity to find the grounding, to find the blessings, and to be in that place of appreciation, of celebration, of presence, of mind and being. Moving on to moon sign messages, we have the 8 of Wands reversed, and this one is saying you don't have to do this alone. So we have the hearth fire as the caption here. This is one of the only decks, I have a few, maybe there's 3 that have community in the 8 of Wands. Typically you just see all the wands flying through the air. Who do you think set them into motion? It's a team. And what's important in this moment? To be a part of the team, to appreciate the team, and especially if you're a leader, because we have 2 leadership cards here, the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. It's really to make sure that you recognize the team and say, I couldn't have done it without you, and we're in this together, right? If you feel lost in the shuffle, it's also a moment to figure out how you got where you're at, who you can count on, and to basically slow down for a moment and celebrate again. A lot of what we just looked at with the 9 of Cups is present here. Take a moment and, be with the people around you and be present. It's kind of antithetical to what you normally see in the 8 of Wands, where it's just move, 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 focus on momentum and velocity. And this one is saying, yes, but there's a reason that you got where you're at. Make sure that you're connecting with all of those people. Make sure that you're not losing track of what it is that you're trying to target. We see all of those archers. So let's make sure that we're still focusing on the same goal, and that's going to help it stay sustainable. That's going to help you feel like you're a part of something, and that's going to make this something that's fun for you as well. All right. Now let's focus on your final question. At this point, if there's anything that I haven't answered yet, let's look at the cards real quick. This is your chance to ask it. So, there's a lot that you're going through this month. There could be some transition or movement here with this card. Some of you have been through a moment, and now there's some new stuff coming through. If I haven't answered any questions, think of that question now. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards, and we'll see what Spirit has to show. So the final card today is the 9 of Wands. Let's look at the traditional card because it will help you. So here's the Rider-Waite-Smith one. We see someone who has been through it, which is something that I've seen, been through some challenges, has some battle scars to show for that, but hasn't given up. This is one of the most resilient, perseverant, and unstoppable cards that you can pull. A lot of times you guys want a yes, no. What I would see with this is basically if you're on a path and you're asking, should I finish what I've started? This is a resounding yes. If you're asking me, can I do it? This is a yes. But there's some work. Are you ready to show up and do the work? Are you ready to really push? We saw today, the importance of standing up for what matters. This is a moment where you might have to do that. Lots and lots of archers in this particular deck. So one of the things that's going to help you on your path is clarity. And again, focusing, and we talked about the 2 of Wands at the very beginning, really making sure that you know where you are, how you got here, where you want to go, and understand what it is going to take to get from here to there. One of the challenges right now could be getting other people's respect, but remember that you trusting and believing in yourself is going to be the most important thing. And respect is earned, and respect needs to be mutual. So that's one thing that could be something to focus on, but it's a very nuanced thing. So if it's lacking and someone's insubordinate, this is a time to deal with it. If it's something that you want immediately, remember it takes time and trust and movement for that to happen. But ultimately, I would say don't give up. This card means that you can get what you're seeking. All right? Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It helps. Leave a comment below. We got all of these beautiful cards around movement, but I like the bear the most. So show me with the bear what it is that you're trying to work on this month, maybe in abundance, maybe in development. And I look forward to that. There's also a bunch of ravens, so you can put another bird if you'd like to. If you'd like to give me a follow on social media, it's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms. Any exceptions will be listed on my website. You can always go to nicholasashbaugh.com if you want to make sure that you're following the right person. To that end, remember that I do not give any private readings. So if anyone offers one, it isn't me. If they try messaging you and talking about all kinds of stuff, that's not me either. I'm busy making videos. So block and report them, okay? If you'd like to show some support here, you can do that through super stickers, super chats, and also through memberships. It helps a lot, and I appreciate it. To check out all of my videos, you can tune in on Monday, Thursday, and Friday for monthly videos. I do a daily card read as well, and if you'd like to join in on a live stream every Sunday, I'm here. Finally, I just want to say thanks. You guys have a lot of choices here on YouTube. Thank you for chilling out with me for the last 45 minutes or so. I really do appreciate your time and energy. If you enjoyed this, you can also share the video, let other people know about it. That really helps a lot. So thank you so much. Wishing you all the best in the month ahead. It looks like there's some abundance and some opportunity that's knocking. I hope that you make the most of it. Take care, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.